An attempt to stop the Kulani Correctional Facility from reopening had its day in court last week.
And we don't want a prison. We don't want any fence. We don't want any walls. We don't want nothing that restricts.
Ohana Ho'opakele,
All we want is a pu'uhonua.
a group that supports a pu'uhonua at the remote site as opposed to the state's plan, gathered outside the Hilo courthouse Friday morning, minutes away from presenting a motion for summary judgment before Judge Glenn Hara. Ted Sakai, the director of the State Department of Public Safety, was also present, along with state lawyers.
Yeah, it was not a pleasant experience.
After the hearing, the Ohana did not appear optimistic.
It's tragic, but this is how it feels generally, and the experience here confirmed it. Why these plaintiffs have had to maintain this action to begin with, to have the state do what it is compelled to do as matters of statutory, regulatory, and constitutional law, is in of itself criminal.
The Ohana says the state's environmental assessment was incomplete because it did not consider their pu'uhonua, despite a legislative mandate to do so that was signed into law by the governor.
We think it's an insult that the EA doesn't even mention the pu'uhonua.
So I've actually met with Ohana Ho'opakele 3 times here. I've come to Hilo 3 times to meet with them.
Though the case that is analogous to the Kulani situation, immediately analogous, is Supervary versus Department of Transportation, decided in 2007, which concerned the states having found that the improvements to Kahului Harbor were exempted from the EIS process. The defendant's final environmental assessment never considers that the purpose of what they describe as logistical actions to reassemble necessary staff to reactivate Kulani Prison never considers the fact that they actually intend to operate a prison. Same thing with the Superferry. The harbor improvements did not consider that the purpose of that was to accommodate the Superferry. The defendants make it seem like what they did is they went away on vacation for a while. You know, like you go away on vacation, you lock up your house for a little while, right? And then you come back and you open the door, open the windows, air it out a little bit. Done. And that's the only thing they considered of what it would take for them to open the doors back up. And then they failed to further consider that when they open those doors, they're going to pack 25% more of what these facilities are designed for and what their operational capacity is. Proceed with their plans for new prison construction on this side, east side, Kona, and statewide, and then abandon Kulani. They never discussed that in the environmental assessment, yet 4 days after they filed it, they went out and issued a request for information on statewide expansion, construction of new facilities here on this island, to include the closure of Kulani Correctional Facility.
Lawyers will have one more chance to argue their position in court. The hearing continues on June 30th.
But we're optimistic that there is, good news forthcoming. And the judge has another opportunity. He can consider the record today. He recognized that he had not had time to consider our reply memorandum to the state's opposition, which our reply was timely filed. He had not yet considered it. So hopefully with the passage of time and a really well presented and argued motion for his presentment this afternoon, and we'll have good news, and then we'll say, yes, we're wicked surprised and happy on June 30th.
For now, the return of Kulani Prison is a go. Just a few hours after Friday's hearing, the state issued media invitations for the grand reopening celebration set for July 1st.